So you know what's a big fuss these days? Lists. I'm about to give you one. This is going to be my personal top 5 for 2012 for the new year. And, well, to be honest, I haven't had access to probably the big majority of games that are out there for this year, but I'd like to say I played a fair amount. And based on that, I'm going to go ahead and give a top 5 list based on that. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and get right into this. PlayStation AllStars Battle Royale. Now, why is this game on the list? Well, it's pretty simple. It's kind of like Smash, and, well, in some aspects it's actually better than Smash, especially the last one. But, that opinion aside, to be honest, it's a pretty balanced game. They're constantly tweaking it and whatnot. They recently put out a patch to make Sackboy not as cheap, because he was, and I still think he is, and then you have your Kratos spammers, but if you ignore stuff like that, it's a fun game that can stand on its own even in a world where Smash Brothers exists. And, well, needless to say, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It gives, the arcade mode leaves a little more to be desired, but if you're really trying to get competitive with a fighter, this gives you a few ways to be able to do that through the different modes that you have, and plus the ranked games give you a chance a certain amount of time each month or each period of time. I forget the length of time that they give you, but you can rank up with color belts, and if you get high enough you actually unlock titles and whatnot, and it's an incentive to keep playing and to get good at the game. So for these reasons, I like the game, I enjoy it, and I've even had fun doing free-for-alls and 2v2s. It's a pretty fun game, you should check it out. Then you have Halo 4. Halo 4 is a game that I, well, did not expect to enjoy, considering that I really didn't care for any of the games. But I picked up this one, I liked what I saw at MLG Dallas quite some time back, and I picked up this game, and I found myself liking it. The reasons I like it is because, well, I feel it is a more fast-paced game, which is funny because it runs at half the frame rate that Call of Duty does. But I found it to be a very smooth experience, and my hits register, which is always nice. And well, then I jumped in the campaign and decided to do the campaign on Legendary, and then keep playing and doing Spartan Ops missions, and I keep going back to it because I actually really like the way the game plays. And I can't really tell you too much outside of the fact that I enjoy it, because I haven't really played any of the previous ones to make any real comparisons or anything like that. All I know is that me and the light rifle became best friends, and we went through Legendary and had a lot of fun doing it. And this might be the game that just changes your opinion about the franchise if you go ahead and try it out. So there's that. Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. This is a game that I've done quite a few videos for, actually. I basically did something for every key point of the game. Basically, I did a video for each of the bosses and put it up on YouTube. And I had a lot of fun playing this game, and I'd still go back to it. Technically, the game's not very long, but it's kind of difficult at parts, so chances are you're going to be spending a lot of time on it, more time than you probably think. You have 6 stages in the first world, you have about 7 or 8, I think it is, on the second, and you have 10 on the last one. And if you don't do good enough, unfortunately, this is something I don't like. If you don't do good enough, you get locked out, and you have to go back to the previous levels to try to do, well enough to be able to actually get to the final level. So, needless to say, if you're lacking in skill, then, well, you get locked out, and you have to go back to these levels again. Past that, there are modes like hardcore and uber hardcore and all sorts of stuff for masochists out there that I'm not even going to try and attempt to do. It's just not happening. Then you have Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. Now, of course, this is going to make it really high on my list, and if you know me, you'd probably be pretty surprised that this isn't top on my list, considering how much I love Mega Man. This was part of a bunch of videos that I put out around the time of the 25th anniversary, and even though it's a bit on the short side, it offers both a better future for the franchise and quite a bit of fan service to both Street Fighter fans and Mega Man fans, respectively. It blends the two together in a Mega Man game and actually has classic Mega Man doing things that they haven't done before, just for the purpose of this game. It's a fan project that Capcom decided to go along with, and needless to say, I'm very happy with the results. and this is from a longtime Mega Man fan. So definitely worth checking out, and plus you can download it for free, so that's always a good thing. So we're going to get into the top game, which, after lots and lots of thinking, I have to say the top game, or number one for 2012, would be Black Ops 2. I really appreciate how they gave me the same gameplay that they've given me for years, and the lack of dedicated servers, and I can shoot to the left or right and sometimes still hit my opponent, so I don't need to necessarily be too skilled at the game in order to actually do good in it. And, I definitely appreciate that. And, they have a zombies mode, which, we haven't seen that before, and zombies aren't overrated. And the campaign is, the campaign's pretty good, actually, to be honest, but, it leaves you wanting more because the veteran isn't as hard as it was in Modern Warfare, the first one that is, but that's okay, we as gamers have learned to not challenge ourselves as much and make things easier, so I can appreciate all these things. And I'm totally fucking kidding, because this is not the top game on this list, and matter of fact, does not even belong on this list. If you believe me for like a second, well, you either don't know me, or, let's just say that the game is more the same and really just doesn't matter, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. My top game is actually Borderlands 2. Because while there was a point where I wanted to kind of quit this game because of nonsense that happened with like modding and everybody having basically the same weapons because you could duplicate and whatnot, it still offers laughs and a good time each time I play it, which really is the most important thing, because if you're not having fun with your games, then why play them at all? And it just has a lot to offer. I've played as every class because I went achievement hunting, so I have an idea of each of classes somewhat. But I keep going back to my Siren. I really thought I was going to go with my Mechromancer, considering how Death Trap is pretty much ridiculous and wrecks everything, but my main, I always end up going back to my Siren. And as of like 3 months ago or so, or whenever I did it, I actually got myself a legitimate version of a plasma caster instead of one that's duplicated, and everybody and their mother has because of that. But, like I said, outside of that, there's humor in the game, there's RPG elements to the game, it's really fun to play with friends. I wouldn't recommend it if you wanted to play it by yourself, it's just not nearly as fun that way. Get a few friends and you're in for one hell of an experience. And if you played the first one, well, this just takes everything from the first one and makes it that much better, and that's what a sequel should be. And that'll conclude this list. If you disagree, you have every right to, and you have the right to your opinion. And, matter of fact, if you want to debate it, you can actually go ahead and put it in the comments. I know this isn't going to be like, I didn't choose a lot of AAA titles, so to say, but this is just my personal list and what I enjoyed for the year. Other honorable mentions are Dishonored, which I actually had the chance to review for Gamer Syndrome, which was pretty nice. Considering I don't usually enjoy stealth-type games and things like that, it was pretty nice to play that. But outside of that, then there's also Assassin's Creed 3, which probably would have been on this list, but to be honest, for one, I haven't gone through the whole game yet, and two, it just had too many bugs upon release for me to put on this list anyway. That'll be the end of it, and this will probably be the last video for the year. So until next time, take care, guys.